Welcome back to the Daily Rundown. Now, Amazon are teaming up with the UK government to test drive delivery drones. Amazon are paying for the programme, which will see delivery drones over Britain. The online retailer claimed that if the scheme works, drones could deliver our goods to our doorstep in 30 minutes. Ministers say they want to allow business to harness new technologies, but want to assure the public that it is safe and won't compromise privacy. Is the future here? Is that what's happening here? What's happening? Are you excited by this?
Yeah, I guess. Drones, yeah.
That being like, yeah.
Well, it's a bit weird. It's one of those stories, isn't it, where you just, those sci-fi stories coming true kind of thing. So we've got
my worst nightmare, I'd like to point out.
What, like robotic delivery?
Self-aware technology.
So
I grew up on Terminator films.
This is so this is just like a drone that delivers something on Amazon just flies over.
But there's questions about whether there will be cameras on the drones. So, for instance, when they've been used in military technology before now, the US military couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be cameras and that they wouldn't be able to see into people's back gardens. There's a lot of parts to this for me. Some of it is the problems around how they would operate them and how they would work. Bigger than that, though, for me is this relationship between the government and Amazon. I'm a bit concerned about that. I sort of feel like Amazon is an incredibly powerful company, and working with them as a government, and they're being kind of presented as the people who are going to invest in this and pay for this. I'm just a bit worried about the kind of implications of that.
Polly, I'm starting to feel like I'm in an episode of Mr. Robot. I didn't even consider this end of it. My goodness, though. I mean, it is. But everybody uses Amazon. Everybody does.
But this is
huge.
It's so huge. They have incredible amounts of data on us. They have the potential to wipe out quite a lot of industries in terms of bookshops, etc. I mean, that's an old story, and there are ways in which bookshops and booksellers are kind of fighting back. But I just think handing them something else that could kind of revolutionise the delivery industry I'm just really nervous about that. And I suppose I would wonder about ways in which technology might be built in that gives them either a head start or some kind of monopoly, and what legislation there is around sharing this with other businesses. So that was kind of the first thing that struck me about this, really. And then there's the thought of like, well, is this really the best solution? We're going to stick a load of flying machines up. It's about 100 meters in the air, I think. There's issues about noise. There's issues about wildlife, which we're already decimating. The small bird population in cities, for instance. I just kind of wonder whether really this is the best solution, or whether it's a kind of futuristic, quite glamorous sort of showpiece way of looking at this, if that makes sense.
Polly will disappear now, and her Twitter will be wiped, and there'll be no trace of her. No, I'm only joking. But the other aspect as well is the safety. I mean, I don't know if you can make robot-y jokes and all that kind of stuff. I probably will, but they're having quite a lot of drone accidents. There's a toddler lost their eye actually last year. There was a woman had her face slashed by just small. These are supposedly controlled drone situations.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to know what they're doing. Now, there's a lot of them just flying around the air. I'm not sure how comfortable I feel about it. It also makes me feel a little bit like, just how busy is it going to be as well? Traffic-wise. I mean, are they just going to constantly? That's very futuristic.
Well, they're talking about them being able to handle all packages under a certain size, which equates to 80 to 90% of Amazon's the things that Amazon sell. And if you think about the volume, I mean, I don't know how much they sell, but I can imagine it's pretty insane. I just don't feel like this is a very sustainable or I don't know.
Yeah, when you not have clever like thieves with drones themselves that will like mid kind of.
Well, there's also the fact magpie style.
yeah.
Piggyback onto it and take it down.
Or just shooting a package out. Whatever.
Well, there's also the fact that drones are hackable. So, right. I mean, this is a more extreme example, but the Taliban and Hezbollah have been hacking drones for years.
I don't want someone taking my book that I was so wanted to read that I ordered it and made it get delivered in 30 minutes.
But you think about what might be delivered using these and the kind of programming that's involved. They would have to have knowledge about an address, about somebody's personal details. I mean,
when they're in the house,
potentially, they're talking about husbands having to have landing pads and saying, well, they'd be in the back garden, and you're like, well, I don't have a enclosed back garden. How many people live in flats? How exactly?
It's opened up so many different questions.
Well, yeah, and if this does work, then does that mean just loads of unemployed human delivery people?
Of course, that has to be a big factor, doesn't it? I mean, I guess you still have your big boxes that it can't carry, but I don't know how busy and not even just busy, just the instant. We want instant gratification in every single aspect of our lives now. That we can't just order something and wait until the next day. Because, or even if you order it in the morning, you pay for premium or something, or you have Amazon Prime, I'm sure you can get it later on that day, depending on what it is, or if you're close to a warehouse. Why do we need it in 30 minutes? We've lost our minds. Yeah. What could it be? And it's probably going to be like, organic maca powder or something that, or, coconut.
There's that amazement of new technology. And if I was younger, if I was a kid and someone said, oh, do you want to go to the shop and buy a DVD? Or do you want a robot to fly it to you? I'd be like, well, the robot, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
are you going to have to physically collect it, like say with a pigeon when he used to send messages tied to his foot? Are you going to have to go and take it from the drone? Or is he just going to throw it in your garden and fly off?
I don't know.
Because that would hold up with all his deliveries. Do you see a Fiona?
Do you have to sign for it?
Do you have to sign for it? Exactly. It's too many questions.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a bit, I don't know. I can't tell whether I'm being a bit sort of Luddite-ish and being like, actually, I can see all these issues with it and I'm not seeing the greater beauty of this scheme, but at the same time, I can't actually see any great sort of elegant solution here.
And also a massive need. I don't think there's a massive need for this.
I feel like teleportation is the way to go. I'm serious. I mean, I'm sad that not that scientifically realistic right now, but
it should be by now, though. Probably, to be fair, it should be by now. Teleportation. That's a big fail. That's a big fail on the side of science, I think.
Come on, scientists.
Yeah, come on, scientists. Pull your finger out. Yeah.
No, so let's play records in space. Seriously. We'll jump on to our last one. We've got a couple of minutes. Michelle Obama has publicly denounced Donald Trump at the Democratic Convention. See, I couldn't miss an opportunity to talk about Trump, could I? Because we never talk about him. In a speech last night, the First Lady said that hateful language from public figures on TV does not represent the true spirit of the country. She then urged the convention not to stoop to Trump's level. Mrs. Obama has now publicly supported Hillary Clinton, who will accept the Democratic nomination on Thursday. How do we feel now? Obama's kind of unity approach very much highlights how Trump's strategy is not about unity, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah. Well, I don't, because she didn't name names or anything, but it was kind of obvious what she was talking about. But
I love that she didn't name names. I thought that was really interesting, the way she echoed him without ever.
She's very, very classy.
Yeah, and she's very passionate, obviously, and she's very impassioned, and
I've wondered if she will go into politics after Obama, because presumably whilst he's in power, it would have been very quite tricky for her to have done that. But I wonder whether after he's not president anymore, whether she might.
Well, she might come in. I mean, I feel already that she's a fantastic speaker.
Yeah,
she's a fantastic speaker. She's very popular.
Yeah, and what she said at the end is very interesting about us taking for granted that there could be, a woman president and everything. And I think you do take stuff like that for granted. And what she's saying is how far we have come.
Yeah.
Because it's so, we focus on all the horrible stuff now and the negative stuff, but it is important to, and as she said, being built by slaves and the building she lives in and everything. So it is important to focus on that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the thing it raises for me is this, I kind of struggle with the broader idea of kind of pragmatism versus idealism in politics. So the fact that the Obamas have come out in support of Hillary Clinton, despite the fact that there are quite a number of her policies, I would say, that run contrary to kind of what they stand for and what they've worked for, it feels to me actually in some ways demonstrative of how powerful Trump's campaign has been in a way that's quite scary, but also that there is this pragmatism to thinking, well, actually this is about endorsing the best fit rather than kind of calling for someone who doesn't exist right now. And it makes me think a little bit of the situation in the UK with kind of Corbyn and the Labour Party, and again I'm quite torn on it, because I suppose I feel like I personally anyway side with a number of his beliefs and his idealism, and yet as a leader I think he's very problematic, and so it's kind of a bigger point about how you have to take the rough with the smooth a bit in order to for the greater gain, which would be not having Trump in the White House.
Of course, I mean, I would, maybe you think so. No, of course. And you know, I was kind of hoping about this whole speech, because I think she's just so dignified. She's such a classy woman. But I was kind of hoping that it was all a big ploy. So next time Melania Trump has to do a speech, you know, they don't seem to pay attention. She'll just spout off what she said last. Everybody will be like, "What? Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And that might work. But anyway, good. Thanks very much for that point, Polly. Thanks, Mike. We're going to go into our break now. When I come back, we're going to be speaking to the guys from Powder Keg. Don't miss that.